You lie down, and the quiet arrives before your thoughts do. But soon they begin to rustle, like leaves stirred by wind that no one else can hear. You feel it, that tightness behind your eyes, the invisible clutter pressed against your ribs. You didn't know how heavy today had been. But your body remembers. You were carrying more than you realized. Little moments that piled up. Questions that never found answers. Worries that didn't ask permission to come in, and yet stayed anyway. Tonight, you pause long enough to notice the weight. And gently, so gently, it begins to loosen. You are not forcing it. You are simply allowing. Now, imagine a soft cloud forming just above you. Not a thundercloud. Not the storm your thoughts often pretend to be. This one is gentle, pale, light, made of silver mist and slow breath. It hovers above your body like a silent friend, a listener with no judgment, a presence that simply waits and receives. And from you, something begins to rise, tiny threads of thought, worries you picked up without meaning to, things you heard, saw, felt, feared. They begin to drift upward. Each thought is a feather, each fear a wisp of air. They float toward the cloud, one by one, with no rush, no resistance. You don't have to name them. You don't have to solve them. Just let them go up. This cloud, this sacred holder of your weight, absorbs everything you don't need to carry, even the worries you forgot you had, even the ones that pretend they're useful. You exhale, and more feathers rise, and the cloud becomes fuller, softer, more luminous. It's not raining, it's releasing. The law of attraction whispers tonight, not as a lesson, but as a lullaby. You are magnetic, and so are your thoughts, but you get to choose which ones stay close, and which ones float away. The truth is, you can't attract ease while clinging to tension. You can't call in peace while squeezing fear. But when you soften, when you allow the mind to be quiet, you make space for everything you've been asking for. So tonight, you let your thoughts become lighter. You let them rise like lanterns released into a gentle sky. No fighting, no fixing, just floating. You breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and again, and again. Each breath, a release. Each breath, a message. I am safe now. I can rest now. I don't have to think my way through everything. Because you don't. You don't have to solve it all before sleep. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to carry your questions into your dreams. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to surrender. You are allowed to be carried. Now, feel that cloud, how full it is, how gentle, how beautiful. It's not heavy, because it knows how to hold your burdens without becoming burdened. And above the cloud, you imagine a soft sky, one that leads to even deeper space, one that takes your released thoughts and tucks them into the folds of the universe. They're not lost, they're not ignored, they're just handed over, because the universe knows what to do with them, better than your tired mind ever could. It listens differently, it responds differently. When you let go, you don't lose control. You align with a greater intelligence. You invite assistance. You stop the noise, so the help can hear you. And so, tonight, help is listening. Solutions are softening toward you, not loud, not sudden, but sure. As you lie here, feel how your chest begins to rise more slowly. Feel how your stomach softens with each breath. Feel how your jaw, your shoulders, your spine begin to melt into the bed. That's alignment. That's trust. That's what it feels like to return to yourself. You are no longer the one holding everything. You are now the one allowing everything to be held. Let the thought come, whatever it is, and imagine it rising from your body, like a mist curling up from warm tea. You don't push it. You don't fear it. You simply release it. The cloud above you hums quietly, not with sound but with peace. It holds space for every thought you no longer need, and it doesn't ask you to understand. Tonight, you are not the fixer. You are not the thinker. You are not the planner. You are the one being loved. You are the one being cradled. You are the one being guided gently into rest. Let your imagination soften. Let the space behind your eyes become a field of light mist. In that mist, nothing grabs, nothing chases, nothing judges. Your thoughts come and go. like butterflies brushing through fog. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are simply tired. And now you are allowed to rest. Let that cloud continue rising above you. Let it stretch wider now, expanding across the night sky. Your worries join others. Your pain joins the collective. And together, it all dissolves into something higher, something brighter. This is co-creation, not by force, but by flow, because the law of attraction doesn't answer stress. It answers softness. It moves toward ease. It mirrors surrender. And tonight, you are showing the universe your new rhythm, a rhythm of trust, of rest, of openness. Let the universe now see you in this state, not striving, not proving, just being. It understands this language. It understands that soft yes your body whispers, and tomorrow it will respond with synchronicities, with relief, with unexpected help. But for now, there is only the cloud, and your breath, and the feeling of being deeply safe, even in the unknown, because you don't need all the answers to sleep. You just need permission, and you have it now. So breathe and float, and let the weight leave. You feel the cloud absorbing one final thought, one last tiny worry, and it's gone, gone into the sky, gone into the vast, loving hands of the all that is. You exhale again, and your body knows. Even your burdens have started to exhale, and somewhere in the distance, just beyond the edge of sleep, a soft new presence begins to gather. It does not carry your worry. It brings something else. You are still lying there. Your breath is slower now. The cloud above you has softened the noise, and what remains is quiet, but not empty, because something else begins to arrive, something gentler than thought, something more real than fear, trust. It doesn't knock, it doesn't rush in, it appears like a hand reaching toward yours in the dark, soft, unseen, steady, and you realize you are being held, not in a way you can measure, but in a way your nervous system recognizes. Your heart knows it before your mind catches up. There's a presence here, not a person, not a voice, but a feeling, like invisible arms wrapping around your energy and whispering, "You don't have to do this alone." You breathe again, and that hand, the hand of trust, presses gently against your back, not to push you forward, but to remind you you're supported. You remember how many times you worried and still made it through, how many nights you thought you'd break, and yet woke up stronger. How many unknowns you feared, that ended up becoming blessings in disguise. And in that remembering, you begin to rest. The law of attraction is responding, not to what you say, but to what you feel now. And what you feel is soft surrender. Because tonight, you understand. Control was never the path to receiving. Fear never attracted the solution. But trust. Trust creates space. Like a bird landing only when the branch stops shaking, you are becoming still, and the help is already circling. You imagine yourself in a boat, floating on a calm river. You are not rowing. You are not steering. You are simply resting. The water knows where to take you, and the hand of trust, still on your back, says, "Yes, this is it. This is alignment." You don't need to know how. You don't need to know when. You just need to stop paddling upstream. And tonight, you are facing downstream. Every part of you begins to loosen. Your mind, once tangled, becomes smooth. Your shoulders, once tight, now melt into the mattress. Even your heartbeat starts to mimic the rhythm of the current. Soft, predictable, kind. There's nothing to earn here, nothing to prove, nothing to fix. Only presence, only breath, only this moment. And that is enough. In this moment, you are teaching the universe something new. You are showing it a version of you who trusts the unseen. And the universe responds faster to that than to any desperate prayer. Because desperation speaks of doubt. But rest speaks of belief. And belief is magnetic. Now, imagine above you, a light. Not bright, not loud, but soft. Like moonlight through gauze. It pulses gently above your chest. Each time you breathe, it pulses with you. And in that pulse, a message repeats. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not unsupported. Feel that message settle into your ribs, Let it fill your spine. Let it echo through your bloodstream. This isn't about pretending everything's fine. This is about remembering. There's a rhythm deeper than your worry, a rhythm that always, always knows the way. You have help, even if you don't see it yet, even if the evidence hasn't arrived, even if the world feels still. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it's the presence of alignment. And from alignment comes clarity, comes timing, comes magic. You let your thoughts float again. But this time, they don't rise like worries, they rise like questions. Gentle questions, whispered into the dark. What if it's already working out? What if it's already on the way? What if I don't have to fix anything tonight? And with each question, the hand of trust squeezes yours, not with pressure, with peace. Because peace isn't what you feel when everything's perfect. Peace is what you choose when nothing is certain. Peace is what attracts the things that seemed impossible. Peace is what allows. So, tonight, you choose it. Not because everything is solved, but because you're tired of fighting your way there. You are floating now, held by water, guided by current, watched over by stars. There is intelligence behind this ease, and it sees you. You think of the times in your life when something just worked, when the answer arrived without effort, when the right person called, when the thing you let go returned better. Those were not coincidences. They were responses to your alignment. And tonight, you're aligned again. Not because you figured it out, but because you finally stopped trying to. You whisper softly to the sky, "I trust." And in response, the sky whispers back, "I know." Let that sink in. Let it ripple through you like warm tea through glass. You are being guided. You are being led, even now, even in stillness, especially in stillness, because trust doesn't require answers, only openness. So you open. You open your mind just enough. You open your heart just enough. You open your energy wide enough to say, "I'm ready for help to find me." And the help begins its journey. It may come in dreams, it may come in ideas, it may come in people, in whispers, in timing. But it comes, because now you are still enough to notice it, to receive it. You are softening into the arms of the unseen, and your softness is strength, not the strength of effort, the strength of trust. The cloud from before is still above you, but now it's glowing. Now it's a symbol that you no longer hold it, all alone. That something bigger, something wiser, now holds it too. And the cloud begins to shift, not away from you, but into you. You are not separate from help. You are not outside of grace. You are part of it. It lives in your breath. It lives in your willingness. It lives in your calm. So rest, beautiful soul. Rest in the knowing, not the figuring out. You don't need to run. You don't need to push. You don't even need to speak. Just allow. And tonight, you have. You've allowed peace. You've allowed softness. You've allowed help. And that is when help moves fastest. Feel the hand of trust now. It's not separate from you anymore. It is you, your deeper self, the part of you that always knew how to wait and watch and welcome. And it whispers, with a voice that sounds like silence, "Now, you're ready." You exhale, and your exhale speaks a language the universe understands. The language of release, the language of readiness, the language of true trust. And while you drift, something else begins to form in the distance, something faint, but coming closer. Not fear, not worry, but help. The kind that doesn't rush, the kind that arrives with its own perfect breath. You are floating now, not through space, but through stillness. There is a softness beneath your ribs, a calm that wasn't here earlier, but now it rests beside you like a warm hush in the room. You are not waiting anymore, you are allowing, and in that allowance, something begins to arrive. You don't see it with your eyes, you feel it, like a slow breeze pressing gently against your soul. It doesn't knock, it doesn't call your name, but it's here, the help you asked for. You may not remember the asking. Maybe it was a silent thought during the day. Maybe it was a breath held too long, a sigh that said, "Please," even if no words followed. But the universe remembers. It listens in frequencies, and tonight, your frequency changed. no longer pulsing with worry, now humming in harmony. That hum is what draws the help closer. Not your effort, not your logic, but your vibration. You're learning now that the law of attraction doesn't respond to your mind, it responds to your being. And tonight, your being is open. So, the help begins its journey, not hurried, not loud, but certain. It could be an idea forming in someone else's dream, a letter already written but not yet sent, an opportunity shifting into alignment, a door unlocking quietly in the dark. You don't need to know what it is. You just need to know it's real. Let your heart hear that. Help is real. Help is moving. Help is already on the way. While you sleep, the threads of alignment tighten. They loop through places you've never seen. They weave through timelines that stretch beyond your reach. And yet, they move because of you. Not because you begged, not because you forced, but because you surrendered and surrender. That's the key that opens every quiet door. Now, imagine you're in a garden, not during the day, but under starlight. The moon is gentle, silver. The grass cool beneath your feet. You walk slowly. You don't rush. Because you know, what's meant for you will not leave. In this garden, there are plants you didn't even know were growing, seeds you forgot you planted, intentions you whispered years ago, now quietly sprouting. And among these, something glows. A small orb of light resting at the base of a tree. You reach out, not with hands but with trust. And the light responds. It lifts, it moves, it circles you once, then twice, then settles into your chest. This is help, pure, gentle, yours. You don't have to understand what it will do. You don't have to label it. Just feel it. Feel it nestling beside your heartbeat, saying, I'm here now. And while you rest, that light works for you. It becomes a call to the world, to people you haven't met yet, to ideas you'll wake up with, to emails not yet written, to conversations waiting to bloom. This is co-creation, the quiet kind, the real kind. You are no longer asking for help from desperation. You are now welcoming it from alignment. That shift from panic to peace is what changed everything. And now the world rearranges in response. While you sleep, roads clear. While you sleep, delays dissolve. While you sleep, the perfect sequence is assembled, piece by piece. You are not alone in this, you never were. But tonight, you finally believe it. And belief, that's where the magic begins. The law of attraction doesn't care what you hope. It responds to what you believe. And tonight, you believe in softness, in guidance, in help that finds you in the dark. So, the dark becomes your ally, not something to fear, but something to trust. In the dark, seeds grow. In the dark, roots deepen. In the dark, the universe rearranges itself in your favor. Let that comfort you. Let it cradle your bones. Let it whisper to your nervous system. You are not doing this alone anymore. Breathe into that. Your chest rises and falls like the tides. And with every breath, you draw the help closer. It hears you now. Not your voice, but your readiness. You have stopped blocking. You have stopped gripping. And in that release, you have become magnetic. Now, imagine a path. It stretches out ahead of you, winding, soft, and golden beneath your bare feet. You don't know where it leads, but you don't feel fear. Because something walks with you. You don't see it. You don't name it, but it's there. Help doesn't always look like a person. Sometimes it's a feeling, a timing, a whisper in your chest that says, this is the way. Tonight, that whisper has returned, and you're listening. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are in the middle of being answered, and the answer doesn't shout. It doesn't argue. It arrives like breath. Let your body relax now. Let your arms go limp. Let your legs sink deeper into the earth beneath you, because the work is no longer yours to do. The current is carrying you. The help is arriving, and your only job is to rest. In this rest, the pieces rearrange. The unseen wheels turn. The perfect moments move toward you. Just a little faster now. You'll wake tomorrow with a lighter heart, not because the world changed overnight, but because you did. You changed what you radiate. You changed what you allow. You changed how you ask. And more importantly, how you receive. Because receiving begins in rest. You are receiving now, even as you lie still, even as you drift, even as your breath lengthens into dream. And perhaps tomorrow, something will feel different. A message, a call, a sense of knowing, a sigh of relief. Because help doesn't always shout when it arrives. Sometimes it just fits. It slips into your life like it was always meant to be there. And you will know, not with your mind, but with that deep part of you, the part that has always trusted, the part that finally said, I'm ready, and meant it. So now, the garden continues to bloom, the light continues to glow, the hands of the universe continue to build behind the curtain, and you continue to rest. Because tonight, even your burdens exhale, and what rises in their place is the silent arrival of everything you once feared might never come. You are lying still now, held by the night, wrapped in quiet, and something inside you opens. It's not loud, it's not sudden, but it's real. Because tonight, you begin to let go, not in anger, not in despair, but in grace. You feel it in your chest, that old tension, that soft ache, that echo of what once was. It doesn't scream anymore, it just waits for your permission to be released. And so, you begin. Not with a wrench, not with a tear, but with a breath. Letting go is not a fall, it's a flight, a feather released, not dropped. You imagine it now, a single white feather resting on your open palm. It's light. You almost don't feel it, but you know it's there, and you whisper, I release you. With thanks, with love, and the wind answers, a warm, gentle breeze flows across your skin, and the feather lifts. No struggle, no resistance, just rise. Because a feather does not fight the wind, and neither will you. This is not defeat, this is alignment. This is what happens when you realize clinging doesn't preserve love. It presses it too tightly, and now you are opening your palm. Not because you don't care, but because you finally understand love doesn't cling, it breathes. You breathe in now, deep, slow, soft, and with each breath, you feel the grasp inside you loosening, all the places where you held on, to people, to memories, to stories. They begin to soften, like knots unwinding in warm water. You do not need to erase the past. You only need to set it free. You see the people now, the ones you loved, the ones who left, the ones who never quite arrived, and you don't chase them. You simply watch as the wind carries them where they were always meant to go. Not away from you, but onward, forward, free. You are not losing anything. You are allowing everything its own path, and in doing so, you find your own. The law of attraction doesn't respond to grasping. It responds to ease, because energy follows freedom, and you are becoming free. Now, close your eyes and see yourself standing in a field. The sun is low, the air is warm, your hands are open. In your right palm, that feather, that last piece of grasping. You take a breath, and you lift your hand to the sky. The wind finds you, it lifts the feather gently, and you let it go. It rises, it twirls, it disappears into the gold-lit sky, and with it, so does the weight. Your shoulders fall, your chest widens, and something inside you settles. You are not broken. You are not abandoned. You are not empty. You are full of space, of peace, of readiness. Letting go does not mean you didn't care. It means you've chosen to care differently now, to love without chains, to remember without reliving, to release without regret. This is power, not the kind that grips, but the kind that knows when to open. And so, you open. You let go of what you once called yours, because love is not possession, it's presence. And sometimes, presence means letting the wind carry it somewhere else. You remember now that you are not here to keep things. You are here to experience them, to receive, to learn, to release, to grow. This is the dance of life. Inhale, hold, exhale. Tonight is exhale. And in that exhale, you find peace. You imagine the person you couldn't stop thinking about. You see them clearly. You don't erase them. You honor them. And then you release them. You let them walk their path without needing to follow, without needing to explain. You whisper, "Thank you. I loved you. And now I let you go." And the feather falls backward. It floats behind you, not crashing, not breaking, just drifting gently into the distance. Your heart expands, your energy clears, your vibration rises, because love that clings contracts, but love that releases, it expands the entire sky. And now, you are sky, vast, open, safe. You feel the stars watching, you feel the night holding you, you feel the space around your body growing, with every breath, every release. You are no longer the version of you that needed to grasp. You are the version that trusts that what is yours will stay, and what leaves was never truly meant to remain. This is surrender, and surrender is sacred. Now let your breath lengthen, let your belly rise, let your limbs go heavy, because your body understands what your mind is learning. That peace is not found in control, it's found in letting go of needing answers, letting go of needing closure, letting go of needing them to understand. Because your understanding is enough. You understand that love doesn't trap, it invites, it honors, it breathes, and now, so do you. You breathe, and the world softens. You breathe, and the pain eases. You breathe, and the feather falls backward again and again. Every exhale is another release, another unraveling, another surrender. You don't have to try anymore, you only have to trust, because the law of attraction responds not to your need, but to your energy. And the energy of release is magnetic. You are clearing space now for new people, new joys, new moments that don't have to fight their way in. You are not replacing what you lost, you are becoming ready for what is next, and what is next is beautiful. So let the feather fall, let it go, let it drift, wherever it needs to, because you are no longer holding on. And now the wind turns softly toward your face, welcoming you into something new, something peaceful, something whole, and that is where the next chapter begins. You're still lying here, your body a little looser now, your breath a little slower. Something in you has already begun to drift. You've let go of the feather, you've felt the wind take it, and now, in this stillness, a question arises. If you are not holding, what is holding you? And the answer comes softly, not in words, but in a feeling. There is a river beneath the clutch, a quiet, moving force that was always flowing just under your grip. You never noticed it, because you were too busy holding on. But now, you're beginning to see the ground under you. It isn't dry, it isn't still. It's water, it's current, it's motion wrapped in calm. This is what the universe offers. When you loosen your grasp, not a fall, a carry, you don't sink, you float, you don't collapse, you're cradled. And as you begin to trust the flow, your need to clutch disappears, because the flow knows where to take you. The law of attraction does not move in straight lines. It flows like water, around obstacles, toward openings, through unseen channels, and now you are floating in it. Let your body imagine this. You are lying in a shallow stream. The water is warm, gentle. Your back touches smooth stone. Your limbs sway effortlessly. You are weightless here. You are not afraid. You're being held by something larger than your thoughts, something older than your fears. This is not surrender to nothing. This is surrender to everything, to the intelligence that guides stars across the sky, to the softness that turns seeds into forests, to the river that never asks you to control it, only to trust it. You've tried to steer before. You've fought the current. You've clung to branches on the shore, and you've felt the strain, the exhaustion, the ache, but not tonight. Tonight, you float, because floating is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is remembering that life was never meant to be gripped, and you are remembering now. Let that memory flow through your ribs. Let it warm the tight places in your body. Let it loosen the fingers you've had clenched around what should have been. Because should is the opposite of surrender, and surrender is where ease begins. You float through the stream of your life. You pass old memories, not with longing, but with thanks. You pass old faces, not with clinging, but with peace. You are not resisting anymore. You are witnessing, and in witnessing, you are healing. This river knows your dreams. It remembers what you forgot. It takes you not where your fear demands, but where your heart belongs. Let your breath join the rhythm of the water. Inhale with the rise, exhale with the drift. There is a pulse to this letting go, a heartbeat under the flow, and you are in sync with it now. You begin to feel that truth deep in your body. Letting go is not the end of love. It is the beginning of freedom, and freedom is what calls true love toward you. Because love cannot bloom in grasping. It blooms in openness, in spaciousness, in trust, and trust is flowing here, beside you, within you, beneath you. You see yourself from above now. Just a figure floating gently in a moonlit stream. No struggle, no stories, just motion and peace. And that peace grows. It stretches into your thoughts. It clears old loops from your mind. It rinses away the question, but what if I had held on longer? Because you know now, longer doesn't mean stronger, and holding on isn't always holding love. Sometimes love says, I want you free. I want you light. I want you to float forward without me. And that's okay. Not all love was meant to stay. Some came to teach you how to let go. And when you let go, you make room. Room for new people, new softness, new versions of love that don't ask you to grip. You imagine that now, a new light ahead in the river. You float toward it. It welcomes you. It knows your name. This is what meets you when you stop resisting. This is what waits beneath the clutch. Now feel your body again. Notice how your fingers have relaxed. Notice how your jaw has softened. Notice how your chest rises easily now. This is what it feels like to float, not just in sleep, but in trust. And the more you trust, the more aligned you become. Because the law of attraction does not follow struggle. It follows surrender. It follows joy. It follows lightness. It follows that breath you just took, the one that felt like relief. So breathe again and again. Each exhale says, I am safe to let go. Each inhale says, I am supported even now. There is nothing left to hold tonight. No explanation left to find, no grip that makes things better. Only presence, only this quiet river, only this gentle ride into what's next. You can trust where it's taking you, because even if you don't know the destination, you know the energy. And the energy is kind, the energy is loving, the energy flows with your best and highest timeline in mind. You don't need to control that. You only need to float toward it, and you are floating. Feel how your energy lightens, how your spirit lifts, how your dreams start to ripple across your mind. This is your soul's permission to release, to say goodbye to what no longer breathes with you, to say yes to the silence that speaks louder than the past. You are not losing anything now. You are discovering what has been waiting beneath your grip, a current of peace, a direction of love, a force of flow, and you trust it now, even if only for this moment, this breath, this night. And that is enough. You are carried. You are safe. You are aligned with the movement of all things good. Let the stream take you farther now. Let it hold your sorrow. Let it rinse your regrets. Let it whisper as it passes under your ears. You do not need to know where this leads. You only need to trust that it does, and so you do. Tonight, you trust, not because everything is certain, but because you are tired of resisting the beauty of the unknown. The unknown is not your enemy. It is your new beginning. And in this new beginning, you don't have to hold anything. You only have to be held. You drift. You sigh. You float. And somewhere ahead, you see the space that's been waiting. The open field, the soft shore, the next version of your life. Waiting, not for your effort, but for your release. And as you move toward it, you know. This river is love. This river is alignment. This river is home. You drift to the edge now. The soft current carries you to shore. And there, where the river fades into stillness, you arrive in silence. No thunder, no grand finale, just quiet and space. Open space. You step barefoot onto the earth. And the earth welcomes you, not for who you were, not for what you've let go, but simply because you came. You stand still, not out of confusion, but wonder. This place feels unfamiliar, yet peaceful. It holds no memories, no residue of the past, only possibility. This is the space where something new can grow. You look around and you see nothing. But it's not empty. It's ready. The soil is soft. The air is warm. And your heart is quiet in a way it hasn't been for a long time. Let yourself feel that. The absence of noise, the absence of pull, the absence of old energy. This is the moment after the release, the moment after the letting go, the in-between, the sacred pause. And in this pause, your energy begins to stretch, because now there is room. Room for receiving, room for creating, room for something beautiful to root itself inside you. But first, you must learn to be okay with the space. It's tempting to fill it, to reach for the familiar, to plant what you know, even if what you knew never truly nourished you. But tonight, you resist that urge. You choose not to fill, you choose to wait, you choose to prepare. This is alignment, this is trust, this is maturity of the soul, because you now understand growth doesn't rush, and you are in bloom. Not above the ground, but deep beneath it, in the unseen, in the silent, in the slow. You kneel in this field, and you touch the earth. It's warm, it pulses, it knows what to do, if you let it. So, you open your hand, and there, resting in your palm, is a seed, not a literal one, but a symbol, the seed of a new belief, a new feeling, a new vibration. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's self-love, maybe it's the belief that you are worthy of ease. Whatever it is, you hold it gently, and then you plant it, not with force, not with need, but with calm, with reverence. You press it into the soil with your fingertips, and the ground accepts it. It doesn't ask for more, it simply receives, because the universe responds to clarity, not complication, and your clarity is in your softness tonight. You do not dig, you do not demand, you simply sit beside this little mound of earth and breathe, because you know you've done your part. Now it's time for the universe to do its part. You're not forcing the sprout. You're not checking the soil. You're not hovering, you are trusting. Because the law of attraction doesn't bloom from impatience. It blooms from readiness. And now, you are ready. Your energy is no longer tangled in what left. It's focused on what wants to come. And the space you've made, the sacred emptiness, is the most magnetic thing of all. It says to the universe, I am open, I am prepared, I am fertile ground, and the universe listens. Feel that. Feel the quiet work beginning, beneath the surface, inside your field, inside your soul. You may not see the growth yet, but you are holding the vibration of it, and that is more powerful than any action. You lie back on the soft grass, the sky stretches wide above you, stars blink slowly, as if to mirror your breath. You are at peace now, not because you have everything, but because you finally let go of what doesn't belong. You are not yearning. You are not resisting. You are simply receiving. Receiving rest. Receiving silence. Receiving this beautiful blank page. It is yours to write, not tonight. Tonight you just hold the pen, but the day will come when something stirs a sprout, a new feeling, a soft yes from within, and you'll know. It grew here, in this space, on this night. The night you stopped chasing, the night you stopped clinging, the night you trusted that nothing was still something. The nothing was everything. Because something new cannot grow where something old still lives. And now, the old has returned to the wind, and you are clean, not erased, but renewed. Feel the breeze pass over your face. It knows you, it wraps around you like a friend. It carries the scent of something coming, not urgent, but inevitable. You feel it, that this space you've made is not a void, it is a womb, and within it, life is forming. New love, new joy, new clarity, new alignment, all of it, growing just beneath your awareness. This is how it begins, not with noise, but with stillness, not with answers, but with breath, not with action, but with presence. And you are present. Let that be enough. Let it be holy. Let it be your quiet celebration. You have done the work of letting go. And now, you do the work of waiting with grace. This is not emptiness. This is sacred preparation. And you are not alone. The universe is tending to your seed. Your angels walk the perimeter of your field. Your higher self kneels beside you, smiling. Because this peace is the sign that you are finally ready. Ready for the next thing, the new thing, the true thing, and it is on its way. So you close your eyes, you sigh, you sink deeper into the soil of trust, and as sleep pulls you under, a thought flickers softly in your chest. Something beautiful is beginning to grow. The room is quiet now, the world outside has dimmed, the noise has softened into hush, and you are finally still. You lie beneath the covers, your body tired, your thoughts gently unwinding, and in this stillness, something begins to glow, not outside, not overhead, but within. It's small, soft, the size of a whisper, a single thankful thought. It flickers like a candle behind closed eyes, warm, uncertain, but undeniably there. You didn't force it, you didn't summon it. It came quietly, like a guest who knocks with a smile instead of a fist. And you let it in. Maybe it's something small, a warm cup earlier in the day, a gentle word, a breath that reached a little deeper. You don't need to explain it. You only need to notice it, because noticing is the beginning of receiving. This one thankful thought, this flicker, becomes the first light in the dark. It doesn't chase away the night. It honors it and adds warmth to it. You feel it now, like a little ember in the chest, glowing, expanding, without urgency, and before you realize it, another one comes, another thankful thought, a second flicker. Now the room inside you begins to shift. Still dark, yes, but no longer cold, no longer hollow. Gratitude is the electricity of the heart, and tonight, your heart begins to hum. It doesn't beat faster, it beats fuller, it radiates, it illuminates, not in beams or flashes, but in soft pulses. You begin to recall things you'd forgotten to thank, not because they weren't big, but because they were so constant. The breath you didn't struggle for, the pillow beneath your head, the silence that holds you without expectation. They glow now, each one a light bulb turning on, one by one, around the room of your soul. You realize gratitude isn't about what's grand, it's about what's here. And the more you look, the more you see. The more you see, the more you feel. The more you feel, the warmer the night becomes. This is not a practice. This is a remembering. Your heart knows how to do this. It's always known. But sometimes it gets covered by shoulds, by schedules, by things that seem louder than thankfulness. But tonight, those voices are quiet and the whisper of gratitude gets to speak. You listen, and it sounds like this. Thank you for my breath. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for whatever held me today. The words aren't dramatic, but the feeling is holy. Gratitude turns the ordinary sacred. You feel your body soften. You feel your thoughts stretch open. You feel your soul exhale, because something within you has stopped searching for what's missing and started soaking in what's already here. And in that shift, you begin to heal, not with answers, not with action, but with awareness. Because healing doesn't always arrive in bright flashes. Sometimes it flickers, like this light, this glow, this humble warmth inside you. And the law of attraction responds. It feels you now, not as someone in need, but as someone aware of the good, aware of the now, aware of the gift that is this breath. And that awareness is magnetic. You don't need to make gratitude your tool. You only need to let it be your atmosphere. A gentle mist around you, settling into your skin, sinking into your cells. Tonight, you don't ask for more. You melt into enough. And the universe hears that. Because enough is the frequency that multiplies. When you say thank you with your energy, the world says you're welcome with its blessings. You lie here now, the glow inside you growing brighter. Not because you're trying, but because you finally stopped overlooking the light that was always on. It started as a flicker, and now it fills the room. every inch of you, wrapped in warmth. You are not chasing light, you are becoming it. Gratitude doesn't ask you to pretend, it asks you to pause, to notice the gift in the mundane, to hold softness as sacred, to name what you'd usually pass by. So tonight, you name it. The softness of your pillow, the gentle rhythm of your breath, the way your body, despite all, still holds you. You whisper thanks, and the light responds. You do not need to be loud to be seen. You do not need to be strong to be worthy. You only need to be open and grateful, and you are. Each thankful thought becomes a star above your bed, each one a note in the lullaby the universe hums back to you. You hear it now, that melody of receiving. It says, you noticed, so now more can come. Because gratitude is the unlocking, the turning of the key, the secret code that tells the universe, I see, I'm ready. Thank you, and as you whisper it again, you feel something shift, not outside, within. A heaviness lifts, a quiet hope arrives, a soft space clears in your chest. This is healing. This is the medicine that needs no bottle, no ritual, only recognition. You don't need to chase the light. You only need to notice the flicker. It grows on its own. With every breath, with every thank you, with every sigh of relief that says, tonight, I remember how blessed I already am. And in that remembering, the night glows. The darkness doesn't leave, but it becomes a canvas, a space for light to bloom. You feel yourself glowing from the inside, not with fire, but with warmth, like a lamp behind skin. And in this glow, you sleep, not because the day is finished, but because you've found your rhythm again, the rhythm of receiving, the rhythm of noticing, the rhythm of trust. Gratitude is your electricity. And tonight, you are lit. The night holds you, the light loves you, and something within you whispers, I think I could love tomorrow too. You are lying still now. The room is hushed. The little light inside you glows steadily, like a candle no wind could reach. And now, the night around you begins to respond. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shout, but it listens to your breath, to your soft thank you, to your open heart. And slowly, like constellations in waiting, the stars begin to appear, not in the sky outside, but in the inner sky, the one behind your closed eyes, the one that only lights up when you notice. There are stars that only shine when you notice, blessings that bloom not in their arrival, but in your recognition. You begin to see them now, the quiet miracles, the tiny gifts, the unseen guardians of your day. A kind gesture, a stranger's smile, the way the sunlight fell across your floor at just the right angle. They're here, not because they weren't always, but because now you're seeing them. This is the magic of gratitude. It turns your inner vision toward the hidden wonders. It reveals the beauty that was never missing, only missed. And the more you notice, the more the universe responds, because noticing is receiving. Your mind doesn't have to name it. Your heart already knows. It knows how to recognize the sacred in the simple. It knows how to love what doesn't ask to be loved. It knows how to notice, and in noticing, to heal. You lie quietly, and the stars multiply. A memory comes, small, golden, maybe from days ago. It glows in your mind like a lantern. You had forgotten it, but it hadn't forgotten you. Gratitude is like that. It keeps what you discard and offers it back when you're ready to remember. Tonight, you're ready. You see now how much beauty passed through you while you were rushing. You remember how much kindness went unacknowledged, not from ingratitude, but from speed. And now, you slow down. Not your life, just your gaze. You turn your inner eyes toward wonder, and wonder rewards you. One by one, you begin to list them, not aloud, just in your being. The people who showed up, the things that didn't go wrong, the safety you forgot you had, the body that still somehow carries you. The stars begin to cluster, each one a tiny thank you, each one a spark of awareness. You are lighting up from within, not through effort, but through presence. This is what the law of attraction responds to. Not just saying thank you, but being thank you. becoming the vibration of appreciation, turning your entire energy field into a welcome mat for more. Because what you appreciate appreciates. What you notice multiplies. What you honor stays longer. And now you're honoring it all. Even the hard things, even the things that hurt, because somehow, you know they softened you, they opened you, they made you more tender with the world. And tenderness is power. You thank the moments that didn't go your way, because now you see they were redirections, not rejections. You thank the people who left, because now you see they left space for something truer. You thank your own tiredness, because it led you here, to this moment, this breath, this glow, the stars above you. They are no longer quiet. They shimmer in approval. They mirror your awareness, because they know. You've learned the secret. The night is never empty. It's just waiting for you to look up. You are looking up now, even with your eyes closed, even from your bed. You're looking with your heart, and the view is breathtaking, because gratitude doesn't need daylight. It doesn't need reasons. It only needs your presence, and you are present, completely, softly, lovingly. You whisper to the dark, I see you. I thank you. I'm here. And the darken responds, not by disappearing, but by glowing. Because gratitude doesn't banish the night. It fills it with light. Tiny, sacred, golden sparks. This is healing. This is alignment. This is the recalibration of your energy field. The law of attraction is listening, not to your words, but to your vibration. And your vibration is gratitude. Not the forced kind, not the checklist kind, but the sleepy, honest, heart-wide open kind. The kind that sees the stars that most people miss. The kind that blesses the silence, that honors the pause, that celebrates the breath you just took, and the one before that, and the one still to come. You don't need more. You only need to notice, and you are noticing now. So, the light grows. The room within you, this inner universe, glows gold. Soft constellations of memory, of mercy, of magic, and all of it begins to surround you. You are wrapped now, in appreciation, in presence, in truth. And in that wrapping, you soften further. The muscles of your heart unclench. The space between your ribs stretches wide. Your breath becomes a lullaby, and sleep begins to lean in. But before it takes you, one last flicker, one more tiny thank you for this moment, this warmth, this glow, and that flicker becomes a new star. You are glowing now, not just with thoughts, but with energy, not just with stillness, but with presence. You have remembered the light. You've seen the stars that appear only when you notice. And now, the universe begins to notice you, because gratitude has made you visible, not to others, but to life itself. You are no longer asking. You are no longer grasping. You are becoming. You are becoming a beacon of receiving. Feel that. A soft glow, not outside you, but within your chest. A quiet hum rising from the very center of your being. It isn't loud. It isn't trying. It simply is. And that is enough. You are aligned now. Not because you got it perfect, but because you got it real. Because you've remembered something most forget. Receiving isn't about wanting more. It's about cherishing what already is. And when you do that, more comes. Not out of desperation, but out of resonance. Because life listens. Life follows light. And your light is flickering brighter. You are sending out a signal now. Not a cry for help, but a quiet yes. Yes to beauty. Yes to love. Yes to aligned abundance that doesn't force itself, but flows. You don't need to push. You don't need to manifest with noise. You only need to hold the frequency of thank you. And the universe, it responds to that frequency like a tuning fork. It hears you. It hums with you. It delivers in rhythm with your readiness. And you are ready. Feel how open you've become. This is what gratitude does. It softens the shell. It turns the clenched hand into an open palm. It melts the protective layers. So light can get in. And the light has arrived. You lie here now, not just relaxed, but radiant. The law of attraction is responding, not because you've asked again, but because you've received already. You've already received this moment, this breath, this warmth, this sleep. And in receiving that, you've made space for more. Gratitude creates vacuum, a vacuum where resistance used to be, and the universe fills all vacuums. So, tonight, it begins to pour, not quickly, not loudly, but truly. The new ideas, the aligned people, the money that feels like ease, the love that feels like home, the health that feels like harmony, all of it begins to orbit you now, because your field is glowing. It's no longer cluttered. It's no longer guarded. It's simply available. You are available, not to everything, but to the right things. And that distinction is power. You are not attracting at random. You are attracting with clarity. And clarity doesn't come from force. It comes from appreciation. You appreciate now. So, life delivers now, and it will keep delivering. Not because you asked once, but because you've become the kind of person who notices, who thanks, who receives without guilt, who glows in the dark. This is who you are now, a lighthouse, a beacon, a soft flame in the fog. You don't have to go out looking. What's meant for you will see your glow. It will be drawn to your vibration, to your gentleness, to your spaciousness, because receiving isn't chasing, it's allowing, and you are allowing. You no longer fear the stillness, you trust it. You no longer need the answers before rest. You understand they come because you rest. And tonight, you rest like someone who knows. It's all on its way. Not because you begged, but because you believed. And not with tension, but with thankfulness. You're letting it all land now. All the small yeses you've sent out into the universe, all the tiny moments you chose gratitude when you could have chosen lack, the compound interest of appreciation. This is your return, and you don't even need to see it yet. You only need to feel it arriving. It hums in your chest. It wraps around your limbs. It brushes against your thoughts. The future is shifting, because the present is glowing, and you are the reason why. You have become the magnet, not because of what you do, but because of what you feel, and what you feel now is enoughness. You are not empty. You are full, not full of noise, not full of needing, but full of noticing. Every breath, a gift. Every comfort, a blessing. Every beat of your heart, a rhythm of divine support. This is what makes you magnetic. Not the vision boards, not the affirmations, but this pure, sleepy, soul-deep gratitude. You don't just say thank you. You are thank you. And the universe hears that loud and clear. It begins rearranging now, gently, lovingly, effortlessly. Everything begins aligning, not in your control, but in your favor, because you've shown that you're already whole, and wholeness invites more. You're not attracting from lack. You're attracting from love. Love of this breath. Love of this room. Love of the little light still glowing inside you. It hasn't dimmed. It's only grown. And now it becomes a beacon, a signal in the night, calling in all that matches your peace. And the match is coming. It's already moving. All because you noticed. All because you thanked. All because you remembered. That gratitude is not an action. It's a vibration. And you, dear one, are vibrating beautifully now. So, breathe in again, and with your exhale, feel yourself glowing. Feel your body relax deeper. Feel your soul smiling quietly. Because there's nothing left to do. You've done the sacred work of noticing, and now you get to receive, softly, naturally, in your sleep. And when you wake, the glow will still be there. The night is quiet now, not just outside, but inside you. The ache of effort, the rustle of trying, it's all gone still. And in that stillness, a truth begins to rise, soft, unspoken, but steady. You don't have to chase love. You never did. Because the kind of love that's meant for you, the soul-level, truth-touch, gently knowing kind, doesn't respond to running. It responds to radiance. And you are radiant, even now, even in your silence. Especially in your silence, your heart speaks without words. It sends signals, vibrations. energy too subtle for sound, but not too subtle for the universe to hear. And the universe is listening. Love is listening. Not the kind that plays games, not the kind that makes you earn it, but the kind that waits for your calm, that finds you when you stop looking everywhere else. You breathe now, deep into your chest, and that breath becomes a beacon, a signal to all that is meant for you. It says, I am here, I am ready, I am soft, and that softness is magnetic. Not because it's loud, but because it's honest. Love doesn't respond to masks, it answers authenticity. And tonight, you are bare, not broken, bare, unhidden, unpolished, true. And that truth, it glows. There is a call your heart has been sending out. Not with begging, not with pushing, but with feeling. Every time you longed for depth, the call grew louder. Every time you whispered to the stars, let it be real this time. Your vibration sharpened. Even the moments you thought were silence were songs. You didn't know your heart had been humming this long, but the frequency has been building, and the match is already in motion, because the law of attraction is not governed by action, it's moved by alignment. And tonight, you are aligned with your truth. You lie here, not needing to be found, but knowing you're already being seen by life, by love, by someone whose heart was tuned to yours before either of you ever spoke. It's not fiction, it's frequency. And your frequency is clear, not desperate, not loud, but clear. You no longer ask, when will love come? You begin to ask, how do I become more ready to receive it? And that question, that shift, is everything. Because readiness isn't about preparation, it's about presence. And tonight, you are present. With your softness, with your longing, with your realness. You stop chasing images. You stop auditioning for approval. You stop curating your worth. You just glow. And that glow is the signal. Love responds to safety, to softness, to energy that says, I am no longer performing, and you're not. You lie here now, heart open, walls down, willing to be met, not impressed, because you've outgrown love that sees only your surface. You are calling in love that knows your depths. And that love, it is not far, it is not confused, it is not lost. It is moving toward you because it feels your call, even if you never spoke it aloud. Even your silence radiates. The parts of you that yearn, the corners of you that hope, they shine, even in the dark. And someone, somewhere, is drawn to that glow. They don't know why, but something tells them you exist. Something tells them they're being pulled towards something soft, something real, something quietly luminous. That something is you. Let that sink into your chest. Let it soften your breath. Let it soothe the stories that said you had to do something to be chosen. You are not a project. You are a presence. And your presence is becoming undeniable, because the call of the heart unspoken is often the loudest of all. You don't need the perfect words. You don't need the perfect look. You don't need to prove your value. You are already love's mirror. You are already vibrating with readiness. You are already becoming irresistible to that which matches your depth. And now, you rest, not to pass time, but to allow the path to be cleared, because the more you rest, the more your signal strengthens. Not your schedule, not your strategy, your signal. The frequency of someone who no longer begs, but becomes. You are becoming now, becoming the energy of what you wish to receive. Not just romantic love, but soul love, grounded love. Love that sees you in silence and says, I feel you. Love that doesn't rush in, but roots in. You will know it not by the fire it brings, but by the calm. Not by the chase, but by the quiet yes that lives between heartbeats. And that yes is already echoing toward you. It passes through time, through space, through circumstance, and meets your glow in the dark. Even now, you don't see it yet, but your heart feels it, like a hand reaching through mist, like a promise you never signed, but somehow always trusted. It's there, and it's listening. It hears the song you didn't know you were singing, the vibration you've been sending in every unspoken ache and every surrendered breath. The law of attraction heard you, not when you asked with your words, But when you stopped chasing and started softening, this is softness. This is readiness. This is the beginning of being found, without searching, without striving, just shining. And tonight, you shine, not brightly, but gently. And that gentle glow is a lighthouse for someone who's been lost in noise, for someone whose soul has been waiting to match yours. They are already listening, and they are already on their way. Because love that's meant never needs to be forced. It needs only to be felt, and you are finally feeling. So you breathe, and your heart hums louder. You exhale, and your call travels farther. You rest, and your magnetism deepens. And somewhere, unseen but certain, the next chapter begins to move. You're still lying still, not frozen, but soft, not waiting, but opening. And in the silence you've made, something begins to stir. It's not urgent, not loud, but certain. Somewhere in the distance, a shift, a presence, a pull, a mirror, beginning to walk toward you. Because love, the true kind, the kind that doesn't take, the kind that sees, the kind that feels like coming home, doesn't arrive with a bang. It drifts in like a tide you didn't realize was always coming back. And tonight, you feel its approach, not in a message, not in a sign, but in the way the air inside you feels less alone. You breathe, and the breath feels shared. You think, and your thoughts feel witnessed. That's what happens when the mirror comes close. You begin to feel your reflection, even before it arrives, because energy recognizes energy, and yours tonight is unmistakable, calm, clear, calling, not from the throat, but from the soul. Your soul is humming now, a tone that only the right love can hear. And somewhere, someone hears it. They don't know your name, but they know the pull. They feel the nudge, the sense that something beautiful is beginning to form, that something soft is calling them back to themselves. That something is you. You are not reaching, you are radiating, and that radiance is what draws them, not your status, not your image, but your frequency. Because true love doesn't want your surface, it wants your essence. And essence cannot be faked. It can only be allowed, revealed, released. And you are releasing now. Every old idea of what love should look like, every belief that said you had to chase it, every story that told you your worth was measured by how fast it came, all of that falls away. You are no longer seeking validation. You are offering vibration. And in that offering, the mirror finds you. Because that's what they are. Not a rescuer, not a missing piece, but a reflection of the love you already hold inside. And as you begin to glow with that love, they are drawn, not by force, not by fate, but by resonance. It's like gravity, but softer, slower, sacred. And you don't have to chase them, because mirrors don't run. They arrive when you're still enough to see them clearly. You lie here now, wrapped in your own glow, and you can feel it. Someone is walking toward you, not in desperation, but in knowing. They've stopped looking in all the wrong places. They've stopped pretending they wanted noise. They've started to seek the quiet truth, the one that looks like you. And so, they walk. Step by step, closer, not pulled by need, but drawn by the echo of your softness. You don't need to speak. You don't need to perform. You only need to stay open. Because openness is irresistible, and you are open now. Open to being seen, to being met, to being held without being fixed. You don't fear your vulnerability anymore. You know it's what invites intimacy. And true intimacy requires no mask. The mirror walking toward you doesn't need your perfection, only your presence. And your presence tonight is full of warmth, full of stillness, full of the kind of peace that says, I no longer run from love, because love is no longer something outside of you. It's within you, all around you, in your breath, in your pulse, in the light that glows from your chest to the night sky. And in that glow, the reflection grows clearer. You feel it, don't you? That something is approaching, that someone is softening, that a story is beginning, even now, even in sleep. This is how love begins. Not with fireworks, but with recognition. The quiet, soul-deep knowing that says, There you are. You are becoming recognizable. To someone who has been searching with their heart, not their eyes. They feel your frequency. They hear your heartbeat in dreams. They are drawn not to your words, but to your energy. And that energy is saying, come closer. If you're real, if you're ready, I am here. You don't beg, you don't plead, you just rest and radiate. And the mirror. They continue walking. The space between you begins to shrink, not through chasing, but through alignment. Because love that is meant to find you will not need directions. It will follow your glow. And you, dear one, are glowing. Brighter than ever before. Because now, you've stopped looking outward. And you've started shining inward. The mirror doesn't find your mask. It finds your truth. And your truth is beautiful. So you rest deeper now. You allow. You trust. Because you know. They're almost here. Not because you pulled, but because you prepared. You've done the sacred work of clearing space, of releasing the wrong loves, of softening the hardened parts. And that space you made is now a lighthouse. And love is coming home to it. You don't need to count the steps. You don't need to time the journey. All you need is to keep glowing. And that, you're already doing. With every breath, with every beat, with every sigh that says, I am worthy of love that sees me. You are seen. You are felt. You are being walked toward. Not someday, but now. Because the call has already been sent, and the mirror has already begun its return. You, are deeper into rest now. Deeper into self. No longer reaching outward, just softening inward. And that softness is everything. You feel the quiet hum of readiness in your chest. Not the nervous kind, not the impatient kind, but the sacred kind. The kind that knows what's meant will arrive, not late, not early, right on time. There is no rush in love. There is only rhythm. And you've entered that rhythm. You don't count days anymore. You count openings. Moments when your heart expands without resistance. Moments when you say yes to what is, without demanding what could be. This is alignment. This is receiving. This is the soft art of being found. Not because you stopped wanting, but because you stopped gripping. You are not proving anything now. You are not fixing yourself. You are not trying to be chosen. You've remembered. You already are. Chosen by the very rhythm of life. Chosen by the love that mirrors your frequency. Chosen by the version of you that is no longer willing to beg for what should feel like breathing. And so love begins to arrive. Not in urgency, not in noise, but in warmth. Like sun seeping through your window before you open your eyes. Like a breeze that touches your skin before your mind realizes it's morning. This love comes slowly, softly, on purpose. Because that's how true love travels. Not as a storm, but as a season. And the season is shifting now. The air around you feels different, lighter, full of promise, full of gentle movement. You are not alone in this quiet. The mirror from before. They are no longer far away. They are close. They are standing in the field of your energy, listening, recognizing, ready. Not because they completed a journey, but because you became still enough for them to arrive into. That's what no one tells you. Sometimes the destination isn't a place, it's a person, a presence, a moment of soul-level recognition. And now, you're in that moment. You lie here, eyes closed, but heart wide open. And in that openness, the embrace begins. Not with arms, not yet, but with energy. You feel it, like warmth wrapping itself around your body, not touching your skin, but touching your field, the invisible part of you that feels first, before anything physical ever appears. This embrace says, I see you, I feel you. I've been moving toward you in ways you never noticed, and now you notice. You don't cry out, you sigh in, you don't chase, you settle, you don't ask, is this it? You say, this feels like home, because love that is meant for you doesn't need convincing. It arrives with familiarity, like remembering a name you didn't know you knew. That's how the embrace feels. It fits. Not because you bent yourself to receive it, but because you became who you are fully, finally, without apology. And in becoming that version, you made yourself discoverable. Love can find what's real. It always does. And this is real. Let yourself sink into it now. Let the warmth hold you. Let the stillness stretch. Let the quiet in the room become sacred. You don't need to picture their face. You don't need to write the story yet. The embrace is enough. The knowing, the arrival, the feeling of finally not reaching for love, but being met by it. You are being met now by someone, some energy, some alignment that knows how to hold you without fixing you, that sees the places where you once cracked and finds them beautiful, because now they hold light. You are no longer hiding your longing, you are illuminating it. And in that light, love wraps around you like a promise, not a spoken one, a felt one, one that says, I'm not here to complete you, I'm here to match you. You are being matched, not in perfection, but in presence, in patience, in pace. This love is not late, it's right on time, because you are ready. You don't need to know how it unfolds. You don't need to control the details. You only need to feel this embrace that is already forming around you. It may take shape tomorrow. It may take shape months from now. But the energy is here. That's what matters. Because everything starts in energy. Every embrace begins as a field, a feeling, a frequency, and you are vibrating with readiness. You've tuned yourself through trust, through surrender, through letting go of what never matched your soul. And now, you receive what does, not as reward, as resonance. You lie here, and the universe whispers, see what arrives when you stop chasing? Love, pure, present, peaceful. The kind that doesn't ignite chaos, but calms the parts of you that were always too loud. You feel it in your breath, slower now, deeper, full of safety. You feel it in your heart, no longer pounding for attention, but humming in harmony. You feel it in your limbs, loose, heavy, allowed, because the embrace is not coming. It's here. You've already entered it, and it has entered you. And from this place, you sleep. Not as an escape, but as a continuation of receiving. Because while you sleep, love rearranges your path. Love softens your timing. Love draws near the face, the voice, the arms that already belong to the frequency you now hold. And when you wake, something will feel different, not louder, truer. You will walk with the memory of this embrace. You will speak with the rhythm of someone who is already loved. You will glow with the knowing that love did not need to be hunted, only welcomed, and you have welcomed it. So now, let yourself be held by the arms you can't yet see, by the peace you can already feel, by the promise that no longer needs proving. The embrace has arrived, right on time, exactly as you are. You lie still tonight, not just in body, but in thought. Not because the world outside has stopped, but because you have turned inward, and that, dear one, is where the true world begins. Behind your closed eyelids, there is space, soft, silent, infinite, a space where nothing has to be real yet, to begin becoming real. You close your eyes and begin to see, not through sight, but through soul. There is a canvas waiting, a blank one, untouched, unrushed. It stretches across the inner wall of your mind, soft and infinite like sky without edges. And in your hand, you hold a brush, not made of bristles, but of energy, of belief, of gentle golden intention. And you dip it now into a warm pool of light, the hue of pure possibility. No hesitation, no doubt. Only you, your desire, and the stillness that says, you are safe to imagine now. This is where creation begins, not in action, in vision, not in doing, in feeling. Each stroke on this canvas is not just a picture, it's a vibration, a signal, a message to the universe. I am ready to live this. You begin with something simple, a room perhaps, bathed in morning light, soft fabrics, air that smells like lavender and clarity, windows open to something green and peaceful, a space that feels like home. Your brush moves slowly, not because you're unsure, but because you are savoring every detail. You feel the rug beneath your feet, the coolness of the floor in the early light. You walk to the kitchen, and you taste something warm and sweet. You hear the soft click of a coffee mug being set down by hands you love, hands that love you back. You see the glow on their face, the way the light finds their cheekbone, the way they look at you, not with shock, but with recognition, as if this moment was always meant to happen. And it was, because you painted it. You believed in it before it was visible. You loved it into vision, and now it's beginning to exist, because each stroke is a belief, and belief is the foundation of reality. You add more to the canvas, not because you need more, but because it's joyful to imagine. You see yourself standing strong, clear, certain, not in a crowd, but on a path, your own path, lit from within. You are no longer waiting to be invited. You are already in motion, and the world follows your vision. This is the art of visualization, not drawing what you hope for, but embodying what you're ready for. And tonight, you are ready. You feel your body respond. The chest expands a little wider. The breath stretches a little deeper. The heart hums a little louder, as if saying, yes, this is what I came here for. You are remembering your creative power, that this mind of yours isn't just a container, it's a projector. It casts forward what you hold inside, and the clearer you hold it, the sooner the outer world begins to reflect it. It's not magic, it's alignment, because life responds to what you embody, not just what you wish for, and you are beginning to embody it now. You feel the warmth of your vision, not far away, but here, inside your body, warming the fingertips, filling the spine, ringing like a bell behind your ribs. This is how the future arrives, not in a rush, not through hustle, but through harmony. Your imagination is not fantasy, it is blueprint. Your feelings are not foolish, they are frequencies. And the brush you hold, this golden glowing brush, it creates not just images, but invitations. You are inviting reality to catch up with what your soul already knows. And it will, because the universe doesn't ignore clarity. It bends toward it, softly, surely, silently. You return to the canvas. Now, you paint a moment of joy. Not explosive, just whole. Maybe it's you laughing in a kitchen you've never seen, but somehow already belong to. Maybe it's walking a quiet path in shoes that feel just right. Maybe it's holding the hand of someone whose energy feels like peace. Whatever it is, you feel it. Not as something hoped for, but something remembered. Because the truest desires are not inventions. They are invitations from the future. You are being invited now, not just to dream, but to know that what you imagine is not fiction. It is formation. And the law of attraction listens best when you speak with images, not pleas. You don't beg the universe. You show it what to create. And your vision tonight. It is clear. It is loving. It is open. It is aligned with who you truly are. You no longer paint from fear. You paint from faith. You don't ask, will it happen? You whisper, it has already begun. And it has. The moment you visualized it, you called it forward. Now, your only task is to feel it, to return to it, to dwell within it, until life reshapes around it. And it will. You put the brush down for a moment, not because you're finished, but because you trust the picture now. It glows on the inside of your eyelids, alive, waiting, becoming. You don't need to force it. You only need to hold the frequency of having it. That frequency is soft. It doesn't shout. It hums. And you are humming with it now. The universe listens, and it begins to adjust. A person will call, a door will open, a delay will resolve itself. Not out of randomness, but response. Response to your vision, your vibration, your quiet inner yes. This is your power. This is your paint. This is your canvas. Behind your eyes, a world is forming. A world that reflects your softness, your truth, your willingness to see it before you see it. So you rest now, not as escape, but as integration. You let the vision settle. You let it imprint. You let it wrap around your body like silk spun from certainty. And you whisper, thank you. It is already mine because it is. You have seen it, and so it begins to become. Tomorrow you will walk differently, not because the world changed, but because your inner world did. You painted peace, and now peace will arrive. You painted abundance, and now abundance will move toward you. You painted love, and now love will find the light you left on for it. This is the canvas behind your eyes. This is the temple of creation. This is where reality is born, and you, dear dreamer, are the artist. The canvas behind your eyes is still glowing, even now, even in the hush of this moment. You closed your eyes last night and created something beautiful, not with effort, but with ease. And tonight, you return. But something is different. The picture you once imagined now feels the closer, warmer, truer. This is how it begins. A vision held gently, softly, with love, starts to shift in your body. It stops feeling distant and starts feeling familiar. This is when the magic begins. The scene that once felt like imagination starts to feel like memory. And the more you feel it, the more the universe rearranges itself to match. You return to your canvas. It welcomes you. It remembers where you left off. The room is still there, the light through the window, the way the morning felt against your skin. It hasn't faded, it's deepened, and tonight, you walk through it. Not as a visitor, as a resident. You step into the vision like it's already yours. And in this dreamlike, drowsy stillness, you begin to live it. You hear your own laughter. You feel your own joy. Not like a performance, like a remembering, because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's real. So you give it the truth you want to live. You fill the scene with detail, the smell of your favorite tea steeping, the texture of clothes that fit just right, the voice of someone who adores you, calling your name with reverence. You let your body feel the peace of being known, the steadiness of being safe, the quiet thrill of being seen. You don't have to fake it, you just allow it. And as you do, your body responds. The nervous system softens, the muscles release. Your breath deepens because your soul is saying, "This is who I really am." You are not rehearsing, you are remembering. You are rehearsing the truth that hasn't arrived yet on the surface, but has already bloomed within. The law of attraction listens now, not to your words, to your feeling. It hears the frequency of already mine. It feels the vibration of I belong here, and it begins to move, not tomorrow, now. Because energy is faster than time, and the moment you hold the vibration, you collapse the delay. You're not asking for your future anymore. You're living it in advance. This is the scene that starts to feel real, not because the world changed, because your readiness did. You no longer doubt your worthiness. You no longer hope from lack. You hope from fullness, from the knowing that if you can feel it now, you can see it soon. This is alignment. You picture yourself receiving the news you've been waiting for. Your face breaks into a smile. You hear yourself say, "I knew it," because part of you always did. You see yourself walking through a door, one you thought was closed, but now it's open and it feels natural. You see yourself being loved, not because you fought for it, but because you glowed for it, and the glow started here, on this inner screen, in this velvet dark behind your eyelids, where no one sees, but everything begins. This is your sacred space, your creation space. You feel it now, how your body starts to sync with your vision. You smile without trying. Your breath deepens without effort. Your chest opens, like a window on the first warm day of spring. You're no longer trying to believe it. You simply feel it, and feeling is the doorway. You whisper softly, "This is real," and your cells begin to agree. This is where inner vision becomes outer experience, not through obsession, through emotion. You allow yourself to feel the joy of already there, to live in the vibration of fulfillment, to walk, even in sleep, as someone who has already received, and you have. Because the moment it feels real, it starts to become real. The law of attraction doesn't deliver from logic. It delivers from certainty, from clarity, from the relaxed power of presence. And presence is what you embody now. You stay in the scene a little longer, not because you're desperate, but because it feels good here. You are at peace here. You are nourished here. You are supported here. This is how receiving is meant to feel, not like effort, like alignment. You are no longer building the future from exhaustion. You are allowing it from wholeness, and the universe knows what to do with that. It starts to match your frequency. People begin to feel different around you. Doors begin to open without knocking. Ideas arrive without strain. Support shows up without explanation. This is the result of your inner world taking shape. It begins here, and tonight, you let it bloom. You walk through your vision like a garden. You touch what's yours. You taste what delights you. You laugh without question. You cry with relief. Not because it's all happened, but because you've stopped waiting to feel the feeling of having it. And that's the shortcut. That's the key. Feel it now, so it finds you faster. Feel it now, so you recognize it when it arrives. Feel it now, so you don't miss the moment that matches your vibration. You are becoming the future you dreamed of, because you've stopped resisting joy. You've stopped saying, I'll feel good when, and you've started saying, I'll feel good now. That changes everything. That's when the vision steps off the canvas and into your life. That's when imagination becomes manifestation. You take one last look around your inner scene. It no longer feels imagined. It feels lived. And that is the beginning of evidence. Soon, little pieces will begin to appear, not all at once, but perfectly, lovingly, in rhythm with your allowing. You don't have to chase it. You only have to hold the frequency. You don't have to obsess over how. You only have to return to this space, night after night, and feel. Feel deeply, feel vividly, feel gratefully, and the world will follow. You exhale now, gently, completely. You've done what few remember to do. You've felt the future before it arrived, and in doing so, you've brought it closer. Let your breath slow, let your vision settle, let the scene tuck itself into your heart like a letter waiting to be opened. It's already written, and soon, you'll watch it unfold. There's something different in the air tonight, not louder, not brighter, just known. A warmth around your body, a stillness beneath your ribs, as if your spirit is smiling quietly even before your lips do, because something is arriving, not as a surprise, but as something you've seen before. You're not guessing anymore, you're remembering. This is the day that arrives with familiarity, the one that used to live behind your eyes, the one you painted again and again on the canvas of your imagination, and now it is here. You didn't push it, you didn't pull it, you simply tuned to it, and when your vibration matched, it found its way in. That's how it works. You feel it in the way your body relaxes tonight. You're not bracing, you're not waiting, you're allowing, and that allowance is magnetic. This moment, this breath, was part of the vision. A version of you wrapped in peace, without needing to prove anything. You don't have to convince life anymore. You don't have to earn your ease. You are simply aligned with it, and that alignment has become your anchor. You begin to replay the visions you created, the places, the feelings, the people, the tiny glimmers of joy that felt so real, even before they were real. You remember the softness of the morning light, the weight of calm on your shoulders, the way someone's voice sounded when it echoed what you always needed to hear. And now, those echoes are becoming real. Your ears are beginning to hear what your soul has already felt. The world outside is catching up to what the world inside already knows. That's what happens when you stay consistent in the vibration of what you love. The day begins to arrive not with fanfare, but with recognition, as if the universe says, "Oh yes, I remember this request." It's already been signed, sealed, and is now being delivered. And it is. You feel it in the subtle shifts, in how people begin to treat you, in how opportunities form in silence and then appear like soft gifts wrapped in ease, no longer out of reach, no longer someday, here, now. But it doesn't start with others. It starts with you, because you've stopped waiting for your outer life to give you permission to feel good. You gave it to yourself, and that permission changed everything. That was the switch. The moment you stopped asking, when will it happen, and started saying, I'll live it now, within me, until it becomes my reality. And it became. Because that's the secret the world often forgets. Reality is a reflection, not a dictator. It mirrors your beliefs. It mimics your frequency. It follows your emotional lead. And your emotions have been steady, grateful, hopeful, soft, strong. You didn't force it. You floated. You returned each night to your inner picture until the lines became clear and the colors became familiar. And now, When the real world begins to echo those images, you don't react with disbelief. You nod. You say, "Yes, of course, I've been expecting you, because this day, this life, this love, is not a coincidence. It's a response." You feel that response in your body now, in the way your belly relaxes, in the looseness of your hands, in the way your thoughts no longer loop in search of proof. You have the proof. The feeling is the proof, and the rest is already forming. You'll see it tomorrow, in small ways, in kind gestures, in unexpected clarity. You'll see it in how aligned things feel, how effortless decisions become, how safe your heart feels. Not because someone made it so, but because you did. You began trusting your inner vision more than outer appearances. And that trust was the portal. Because life meets you where you are already vibrating, and tonight, you are vibrating in peace. You see the vision not as a far-off fantasy, but as a natural unfolding, and it is unfolding. Maybe not in the way you expected, but in the way that's perfect. You are not waiting anymore. You are recognizing. And that recognition is why the arrival feels familiar. It's like meeting a friend you only ever knew in dreams. But when they smile, you remember. You remember the scene. You remember the colors. You remember how it felt to believe in it when no one else saw it yet. And now, they see it too. The world sees it too. This is the reward of quiet consistency, of choosing your vibration when no one is watching, of coming back to your inner garden night after night to water what hasn't bloomed yet. And now, the buds are beginning to open. Your life is beginning to bloom. You breathe it in, the scent of alignment, the breeze of readiness, the gentle rush of a timeline you once wished for now weaving itself around you, and it all began. With a picture behind your eyes, one brush dipped in golden light, one stroke of belief, one moment of feeling what hadn't happened, as if it had. That's all it takes. That's all it ever took. You rest deeper now, your body full of knowing, your spirit full of calm, because something inside you whispers, the vision was real, and now the reality is beginning to match. So let it match. Let life rise to meet your inner world. Let the day come that feels exactly like the one you dreamed. And when it does, you won't be surprised. You'll just smile and whisper to yourself, "I've been here before." It's quiet now. The day has settled. The world outside your window has gone dim and still. And you are returning. Not to a task, not to a role, but to something deeper, older, more true. Tonight, you begin to remember, not something new, something eternal. You've always been worthy. But tonight, you begin to remember that worth, not in words, not in proof, in presence. Close your eyes and come with me to a place beyond forgetting. Feel your body sink into the mattress. Feel your limbs go heavy and feel a soft space open above the crown of your head. Something begins to settle there. Light, but undeniable. Warm, but powerful. A presence. A weight that carries no burden. A crown, not made of gold, not of jewels, but of energy, of essence, of who you are when you stop trying to be. You don't wear it like a prize. You wear it because it's yours. It always was. You just forgot. The world is full of mirrors that distort, of voices that convince you to doubt what was never in question, to earn what was never meant to be earned. But tonight, the noise falls away, and in the hush, you remember. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not less than. You are a bearer of light. And your crown is your birthright. This crown is invisible to the eye, but your soul knows its weight. Your body straightens slightly as it returns. Your heart opens a little wider. Your breath lengthens, like someone who is finally being seen. You are not pretending to be royalty. You are remembering that you always were. Not royalty as the world defines it, not power over others, but presence in self, a kind of sacred confidence that whispers instead of shouts, that radiates instead of proves. This is the quiet confidence of worth. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain. It doesn't bargain. It knows. You begin to walk like the crown is there, not with arrogance, but with reverence. Each step you take in life can now come from this place, this knowing. this deep, unshakable center. It says, I do not need to compare. I do not need to perform. I am not here to be liked. I am here to be real. And that realness is magnetic, because the world doesn't need more polished masks. It needs more lit-up souls. And yours is lighting again. Because you've stopped pretending you are small. You feel that now, don't you? The way your energy is expanding, even here in the dark. The way your field fills the room without effort. The way the crown settles so perfectly atop your head, as if it never left. Because it didn't. You just let others speak louder than your own knowing. But your knowing has returned, and with it comes the quiet confidence that changes everything. This is not about what you do. It's about who you are being as you do it, a person who remembers. Your worth is not a question. It is a presence. You no longer enter rooms to be measured. You enter them to radiate. You no longer ask, do they see me? You ask, am I showing up in my full light? And tonight, you are, even here, even in rest, you are magnetic now. Not because you strive, but because you are aligned. Aligned with the truth that your value has never been up for debate. You've always been enough, but now you've stopped apologizing for it. And that shift, it changes everything. The law of attraction responds to vibration, not vibration of want. Vibration of worth. You don't need to affirm it with words alone. Your being affirms it now, your stillness, your calm, your glow. Others will feel it. They won't know why they respect you more. They won't know why they pause when you speak. They won't know why they feel safer around you. But you will. You'll know it's because you remembered the crown. You remembered your original wholeness, and you began to walk like it was already there. You don't ask to be chosen. You choose yourself. You don't try to be special. You remember that you already are. Special not because you are more, but because you are yours, entirely, undeniably, authentically. This is your homecoming. And it began the moment you got quiet enough to feel your own light again. No spotlight needed, no applause, just the softness of knowing, I am whole, I am valuable, I am not for everyone, but I am always enough for me. And that is power. The gentle kind, the unshakable kind, the kind that walks through fire and comes out gold. You rest deeper now. Your crown glows gently above you. It pulses with the rhythm of your breath. And as you drift towards sleep, you know, the energy you carry tonight will echo into tomorrow. The way you speak, the way you move, the way you say no, and the way you receive yes. It will all come from the center of your crown, no longer hidden, no longer forgotten, but remembered, reclaimed, radiant. This is who you are. This is who you've always been. And now, you remember. There's a shift just beneath your breath tonight. Soft, subtle, certain. Not loud like thunder, not sudden like lightning. Just there, like a warmth in the chest you didn't have to earn. This is what happens when you start to live from your worth. Not chase it, not prove it, just wear it. You wore your crown last night, not for show, but for truth. And something within you aligned. You walked a little taller, spoke a little slower, moved a little less hurriedly. Because when you know who you are, you stop rushing to become something else. And tonight, we take that further. You begin to notice how the world reacts when you change your frequency. Because when your inner energy shifts, so does the outer atmosphere. When you enter a room rooted in your worth, the room changes. Not because you demand it, because you are it. Your presence carries a vibration. And that vibration is contagious, not loud, not flashy, just steady, unshakable, safe. It speaks before you speak. It announces you without a word. And the room listens. You feel that now, don't you? The way people turn toward ease. The way conversations slow when you bring silence instead of noise. You've stopped chasing approval, and in doing so, you've become magnetic. Because nothing is more powerful than a person who knows they belong. That's what this chapter is about. The shift from wondering, will they like me, to softly knowing, this space is lucky I showed up. Not from ego, from alignment. You don't have to dominate a room. You just have to inhabit it, fully, calmly, and without apology. That's presence, and presence is power. Tonight, we visualize that. You close your eyes and see yourself walking into a space. Maybe it's a quiet gathering. Maybe it's a bright hallway. Maybe it's a sunlit cafe or the echo of a new workplace. It doesn't matter where, because it's not about the place, it's about you. Notice how your energy enters first. It walks a few steps ahead of your body. Soft, radiant, grounded. People feel it before they see you. Their shoulders lower. Their breath softens. The mood lifts. Not because you said anything, but because you didn't shrink. You didn't dim. You walked in with your crown on, and the room adjusted. This is what happens when your energy says, "I'm not here to be impressive, I'm here to be real," and the world responds. Not always with words, but with resonance. The right people feel it. The aligned doors unlock, the clutter fades. Because your frequency does the filtering for you. No more proving, no more performing. Just presence. You begin to trust that now. You don't have to plan every word. You don't have to rehearse approval. You just have to arrive with all of yourself intact. That's the new confidence. It doesn't mean never feeling doubt. It means doubt doesn't get to drive. It means walking in with your heart open but protected, your voice soft but grounded, your eyes aware but not seeking, because you're not hunting validation anymore. You're offering energy. Do you feel that difference? It's like the shift between begging the fire to warm you and realizing you are the fire. You radiate from inside out. And tonight, you let that radiation expand. You walk into the room again in your mind. This time, you see the subtle ways people respond. A glance, a longer pause, a smile that wasn't there before. But more than anything, you notice you. How you're no longer looking around for someone to tell you who you are. You already know. So you sit comfortably, speak slowly, listen deeply, because you're not in a rush to prove your right to be here. You've claimed it. Energetically, lovingly, unshakably. And the room adjusts. That's the law of attraction at play. It doesn't just bring you things, it brings you resonance. It tunes the world to the song you hum inside. And your song, now, is self-worth. Not arrogance, not bravado, but a soft, grounded knowing. A knowing that says, I am enough, even in silence. This changes how people speak to you, how they hear you, how they remember you. Not because you chased attention, but because you were fully present. You became the calm in the room, the steady hand, the quiet glow, and the world noticed. You let that settle now. Let it sink into your body. Feel it in your jaw, in your shoulders, in the back of your spine. You are no longer hoping to be included. You are the inclusion, the center, the grounding presence. You don't take space. You anchor space. And your worth. It makes the atmosphere kinder. That's your gift. You're not here to impress. You're here to imprint, to leave a feeling behind long after you've left the room. That's the quiet kind of legacy. That's the worth that speaks even when you don't. And you let it speak now. Let your vibration do the work. Let your presence be enough. Let your breath be your statement. Let your stillness be your strength. You feel the shift now, within and around you. You are becoming what you used to hope others would be for you. Stable, gentle, certain. You're not afraid of silence anymore. You are the silence. And in that silence, everything echoes. People sense your boundaries without defense. They feel your openness without overgiving. They respect your space because you respect your own. You don't need loudness, you have gravity. And gravity changes rooms. This is your new way of being. From now on, every space you walk into will feel your presence. Not because you force it, but because you own it. And you don't have to do it alone. The crown still rests on your head. Steady, silent, sacred. It doesn't need fixing. It doesn't need polishing. It just needed remembering, and you remembered. So now, the world remembers too. You drift now, back into softness, back into breath. And tomorrow, when you walk into a new room, the room will change. There's a softness in the air tonight. A stillness that hums with something quiet but new. It's not loud, it's not sudden, but it's real. A reflection, a response, a ripple you sent out long ago. Returning. Because something within you changed, and now the world is beginning to notice. That's the miracle of inner shift. The outer doesn't lead it, it follows. Like a mirror that waits for you to smile first. Like a breeze that turns once you breathe differently. You've been breathing differently. walking differently, existing differently, not louder, not busier, just truer. And now they see it, not all at once, but in glimmers, in glances, in the soft way others begin to respond to your new vibration. You didn't tell them, you didn't have to. Your energy spoke for you, the way you hold yourself, the way you pause before you speak, the way you don't fill space just to be heard. It changed everything, because now others feel it too. That quiet confidence, that soft power, that sacred self-worth that doesn't waver when questioned. You've stopped asking to be seen. You've started being. And in your being, you've become magnetic. Others begin to respond in unfamiliar ways. Someone smiles longer. Someone listens deeper. Someone who used to overlook you now asks for your opinion. It's not a trick. It's not a tactic. It's alignment. You are aligned with your worth. And others can't help but adjust. This is the ripple of remembrance. You remembered who you are. And now, so do they. Not because they changed, but because you did. That's how reality works. You are the tuning fork. And when you vibrate in truth, everything around you begins to harmonize. It doesn't happen all at once, but it begins. You feel it in small things, how someone greets you with new warmth, how the right kind of opportunities start to surface, how the wrong kind drift away. Not with drama, just with clarity. Because when you shift within, you no longer magnetize what doesn't match. The people who once triggered you no longer stick. The dynamics that drained you no longer fit. You're not pushing them away. You've simply stopped holding what never belonged. That is power, and it's quiet. It's the confidence of someone who's chosen peace over performance, someone who doesn't chase validation, but stands in vibration. And that vibration, it's being felt. You are felt. You might notice people linger when you speak, or look at you differently, like they're trying to place what's changed. It's your energy. It's your self-regard. It's the field around you that no longer vibrates with doubt. You don't need others to name it. You feel it in your body, in how relaxed your chest is, in how clear your voice sounds, in how deeply you rest at night, like this, right now. There's no effort here, only return. Return to self. Return to wholeness. Return to truth. And the truth is, your inner shift has begun to ripple into the world around you. People who didn't value you begin to notice your absence. People who once questioned you now speak more, softly. People who meet you now feel your presence before your words. You didn't demand any of it. You became all of it. And the law of attraction is simply responding to the new blueprint you carry. A blueprint of calm, of enoughness, of dignity. You walk through life now, not trying to be chosen, but choosing yourself again and again in the smallest moments. That's the kind of self-worth the universe can't ignore. It begins to rearrange itself in your favor. People treat you differently, not because they changed, but because they now respond to the version of you that has changed. You hold better conversations, you draw better boundaries, you receive more kindness because you give it to yourself first. You are the template now, the example, the tone setter, and others begin to mirror that. Even the ones who once couldn't see you. They begin to soften, to pause, to ask. And when they ask, you respond from your center, not from reaction, not from people-pleasing, but from a place of grounded knowing. You know what you need, you know what you deserve, and you're no longer afraid to allow it. That permission you give yourself, it radiates. It's why someone suddenly respects your time. It's why someone finally apologizes. It's why someone new appears with open-hearted presence. Because when you show up as your whole self, others feel safe doing the same. You've become a lighthouse, not chasing ships, just shining, and letting the right ones find their way to you. And they will. Because the law of attraction honors authenticity. And you are deeply, quietly authentic now. You sleep tonight in the comfort of knowing. You don't need to fix the world for it to love you. You only need to honor yourself. And the rest begins to mirror that. So rest, dear one. Sink into the glow of your own self-trust. Let the world catch up to your energy. Let the room rearrange itself to match the frequency you now live in. Because it is happening. Slowly, softly, surely. They are noticing. But more importantly, you are. You feel the shift in your nervous system, in your schedule, in your spirit. You're no longer running. You're no longer shrinking. You're no longer waiting for proof. You are the proof. The reflection has begun, and it will only grow clearer. From this night forward, watch how the world begins to treat you like the worthy being you always were. Because now, you finally do too. You are not broken. You are not missing anything. You are not too late. Tonight, you begin returning to yourself, not in a rush, not in pieces, but slowly, softly, completely. Because healing does not demand effort, it asks for rest. And tonight you rest inside a new kind of softness, one that doesn't just quiet the mind, it gathers the heart. You feel it now. The way your body settles, the way the breath comes easier, the way the air around you seems to hum with permission. Permission to pause, permission to receive, permission to heal. Let the day drift behind you. Let it loosen its grip. Let all its noises dissolve like fog touched by morning light. Now, come with me, into a place that does not live on the clock, into a rhythm that beats only for your soul, into the healing that sleep was always meant to offer. Tonight, we cover you not in pressure, not in expectation, but in a blanket of becoming. Because healing is not fixing. Healing is remembering. Remembering that your body wants to heal, that your mind knows how to soften, that your spirit still sings beneath the silence. You are not here to strive tonight. You are here to unravel, like a tightly wound thread finally given space to loosen, to unwind, to breathe. Let your thoughts do the same. Let them rise like feathers, not needing to be sorted, just released. There is nothing you must figure out. There is nothing you must hold on to. There is only this moment, and in this moment, your body knows what to do. It begins to repair, to restore, to stitch together what felt frayed, to bring warmth to the parts that went cold from waiting too long. You feel that warmth now. It moves through your limbs like golden waves. It pools in your chest. It hums in your belly. It dances down your spine like soft electricity. Not jolting, not jarring, just alive. This is you, alive, even in stillness. Especially in stillness, because the deepest healing does not come from action. It comes from surrender. You surrender now, to the pillow beneath you, to the quiet of the room, to the whisper of your worth wrapping around you like moonlight. You were never meant to carry it all, not alone, not forever. Tonight, you begin putting things down, not with guilt, with grace. You put down old stories, you put down harsh judgments, you put down the ache of not enough, and in their place, you pick up softness, you pick up your breath, you pick up the rhythm of healing that's always been inside you. It was never gone, just waiting, patient as dawn, and now it rises. You are being sewn back together, not into the version others wanted, but into the version that always existed beneath the trying. Your wholeness was never lost, it was simply resting. And now it wakes, like a flower unfolding, petal by petal. No rush, no pressure, just return. You are returning, not to the past, not to pain, to yourself. To the you that breathes deeply, that believes gently, that receives completely. Can you feel it? The way your heart no longer fights, the way your thoughts slow down. Not because they were silenced, but because they were finally heard. Healing happens when we stop resisting, when we let the body speak without trying to correct it. Your body speaks now. It says, I'm ready to be loved again. I'm ready to release the tension. I'm ready to be whole. And you are. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming someone more you than you've ever been. That's what healing is. It's not returning to who you were before the pain. It's becoming who you were meant to be because of it. And that version of you is rising now, softly, surely, sleepily. You feel it in your breath, deeper, wider, unforced. You feel it in your shoulders, less guarded, more open, trusting again. You feel it in your jaw, less clenched, more curved with peace. And you feel it in the sacred quiet between each heartbeat, where your spirit says, I never left you. I was just waiting for you to come home, and you have. You're here now, whole, not because the pain is erased, but because it no longer defines you. You've felt it, you've honored it, and now you release it. You do not need to carry it into the next breath. You do not need to hold it to prove you survived. Your survival is already etched in light, and now you get to thrive, one quiet inhale at a time, one peaceful night at a time, one dream where your body remembers, I know how to heal, you know how to heal. Because healing isn't a destination, it's a way of resting, a way of remembering, a way of believing that even in the dark, you glow, and you do. Tonight, you glow in stillness, in release, in permission. The permission to rest, the permission to become, the permission to be held by something greater than the fear that kept you running. You are not running anymore. You are wrapped in the blanket of becoming, and as you sink deeper, you let it hold you, not fix you, hold you, like a mother's hum, like a lullaby made of stars, like the silence that finally says, you are safe now. And you are. You are safe to heal, to sleep, to become. And when you rise again, you'll rise differently, not faster, not louder, just fuller, more whole. But that is for another night. For now, you drift, wrapped in the glow of your return, the safety of your softness, the truth that you were never broken, just waiting to be seen whole. There is a healer who lives inside you. You may not see them, you may not hear their voice, but they are always working, quietly, lovingly, unconditionally. Tonight, you begin to feel them. The gentle doctor within, not with syringes or noise or sharp demands, but with presence, with knowing, with a steady patience that has never left your side. This healer does not judge your pain. They do not rush your timeline. They do not ask for anything you cannot give. They simply wait for you to allow rest, because in that rest, they can finally begin. And you are resting now, so softly, so willingly. Each breath you take tonight opens the door wider for this healer to do what they were always meant to do, to tend to the unseen, to soothe the wounds too deep for language, to return you to your natural rhythm of repair. You don't have to do anything. In fact, the less you do, the more they can help. This is not about effort. This is about surrender. You surrender now to the stillness beneath your skin, to the space between thoughts, to the silence that glows like soft moonlight. And in that surrender, the gentle doctor begins. They move through your body with care, with reverence, with an understanding that does not need instructions. They've always known the way. Even when you doubted, even when you panicked, even when you forgot how to trust yourself, they remembered, and they never stopped trying. Now, you let them in. You imagine them now, not as a person, but as a presence, warm, gold, fluid like honey, but filled with starlight. They move through your bloodstream with grace. They touch each cell like it's sacred, because it is. You are. And this healer within, they are not separate from you. They are you. The part of you that wants to live, to thrive, to hold the world again without trembling. Let them move now. Let them begin where it hurts the most. Not with force, but with listening. They place their light where you've stored the ache. They don't rush it away. They sit with it. They understand that true healing requires attention, not avoidance, so they give it, patiently, lovingly, to the memory still held in your shoulders, to the grief that lingers in your lungs, to the tension braided into your spine. They touch it all, and the body sighs. It begins to loosen, to open, to trust again. You feel that, don't you? That slow melting, that tender shift. It's not dramatic, but it's real. The way your jaw softens when you no longer have to hold it together. The way your stomach releases when safety returns. The way your heart stops bracing for the next blow and starts beating like it remembers the rhythm of peace. This is the healer within at work. They are not fixing. They are reminding every cell what it means to be whole, to be alive without fear, to be soft without breaking. Your body remembers now. Even if your mind forgets, the body always remembers. And tonight, that memory rises again. It floats to the surface like a dream you once had and thought you lost. But here it is, the dream of ease, the dream of harmony, the dream of a body that loves itself enough to keep going, and it's real. Because healing is not a fantasy, it's a function. And the more you rest, the more it awakens. So you rest deeper, you allow the healer to go further, into the corners, into the folds, into the places where light had not reached in years. No more hiding, no more holding. You are safe now, and so you let go. And in the letting go, your body begins to glow, A soft, golden light rises from your skin, not visible to the world, but radiant to your soul. This is the light of allowance, the glow of grace. You have allowed yourself to heal, not because a world gave you permission, but because you gave it to yourself. You stopped asking, "Do I deserve to feel good?" and instead began to whisper, "I am ready to feel whole." And that whisper was all the healer needed. Now they work gently in your bones, in your blood, in your breath. And in return, you feel warmth. You feel the repair, the rebuild, the return, not to who you were, but to who you've become because you dared to rest. You dared to let sleep do more than numb. You let it renew, and that is magic. Sleep is the spell, and healing is the answer. Your mind may drift now. That's okay. Let it wander. The healer doesn't need your focus, only your trust, and they have it now. So, as your thoughts float like dandelion seeds, the healing continues, unseen, unforced, unfolding. You do not need to understand the how, only to receive the now where your breath deepens, the now where your cells sing, the now where your pain becomes less sharp, less personal, less permanent. You are not broken, you are blooming, and the gentle doctor within, they are tending every petal of your new becoming. Tonight, your sleep is medicine, your silence is balm, your body is a field that finally knows it can grow again, and it will, from the inside out, because healing was never about perfection. It was always about presence, and you are here now, present, peaceful, protected, held by your own inner wisdom, cared for by your own inner grace. Tomorrow may come with noise again, but tonight, this is yours. This stillness, this warmth, this miracle of repair happening with every gentle breath. You do not have to carry it all anymore. The healer carries some now. You are not alone. You never were, even in your deepest hurt. The gentle doctor was there, waiting for this moment of rest, this moment of yes, this moment of healing. So sleep now. Sink into your softness, let the gentle doctor work, and as you drift deeper, trust that in the morning, you'll wake with more peace than you remember ever having, because the healing began tonight, and it will continue, one sacred breath at a time. There is a moment, just before the light returns, just before the eyes open, just before the world comes rushing back in, when something inside you quietly knows, you are not the same. It doesn't shout. It doesn't announce itself in fireworks. It's just there. A new weightlessness in your chest, a subtle calm in your bones, a stillness that wasn't there before, because healing doesn't wait for the sun. It happens while you sleep, while you soften, while you trust. And last night, you trusted. You surrendered into the gentle arms of your inner doctor. You let yourself be held instead of holding everything in. And now, you wake up differently. Not all at once, not with fanfare, but with a quiet sense of something shifted. Maybe your breath feels easier. Maybe your thoughts are slower, like a river that stopped rushing. Maybe your body stretches into the day without the usual resistance. This is the soft miracle of allowing, of doing the most powerful thing you could possibly do for your healing journey. Nothing, just being. And now, in the space left behind by all the effort, peace grows. Let's return to that moment together. Let's imagine you are just beginning to stir. The sky is pale outside your window. The world hasn't asked anything of you yet. But your soul already knows. Today, you rise from a different place. You are not carrying what you used to. The grief may still whisper. The fear may still linger. But they no longer sit in the front seat. They no longer drive your thoughts. They no longer shape your reflection. Because last night, your body began to believe in safety again, in restoration, in the right to feel good. And that belief, it changes your chemistry. It rewrites the tone of your mornings. This is the law of attraction at work in its gentlest, most cellular form. Not in a wish, not in a vision board, but in a body that whispers, "I think I can hold light again." And so, you do. You hold it now. You wake into it. You stretch into it. You breathe into a space that's been cleared by your own willingness to rest. You no longer wake up with armor. you no longer brace for the day. You meet it with softness. That's the shift. You're no longer surviving mornings. You're receiving them. And the world begins to notice. Not because you look different, but because you feel different. People respond to you with more ease. Your voice sounds more grounded. Your choices become more aligned. Not because you made a resolution, but because your nervous system believes in safety again. That's what healing sleep does. It rewires you to receive what you once blocked in fear. And now, you receive a kind word, a moment of peace, a breath of beauty. These are the subtle miracles that flood your mornings now. You feel the difference in how you walk, how you reach for your tea, how you notice the light falling on your pillow. Everything speaks differently to you now. Because you speak differently to yourself, you no longer greet the day with tension. You greet it with truth. And that truth is, you are no longer broken. You are becoming. And becoming is sacred. You rise now not just from bed, but from within. From the place in you that remembered last night how to feel whole again. And because you remembered, the world begins to respond. That's how the law of attraction begins healing you, by changing your energy in the places no one sees, in the way your shoulders move, in the way your heart no longer shrinks, in the way your thoughts offer compassion instead of criticism. You've become a new home for your spirit, not because you forced healing, but because you finally allowed it. You trusted sleep. You trusted stillness. You trusted the invisible work of softness, and now it shows. It shows in how you speak to yourself as you brush your hair. It shows in how you pause to enjoy the warmth of the shower. It shows in how you answer emails without self-erasure. Your healing is in the smallest things, and those small things are everything. You're not waiting for some grand proof that you've changed. You already feel it in the quiet ways you no longer abandon yourself. That is transformation. That is power. That is the proof. So as you rise into the next day, you bring that softness with you. You walk slower. You answer gently. You no longer expect yourself to carry more than you can. You've learned the language of your limits, and you've stopped apologizing for them. That is healing. It's no longer about fixing what broke. It's about holding what hurt with so much love that it no longer needs to protect itself. Your body thanks you. Your breath thanks you. Your dreams thank you. Because they no longer live in chaos. They live in clarity. You are not the person who went to sleep last night. You are softer now, and stronger for it. You are kinder to your future because you honored your past by no longer being trapped in it. You broke the loop, you opened the window, you let the air of peace in, and now it lives with you. That's what it means to wake up differently, to rise not into pressure, but into presence, to look in the mirror and not search for flaws, but find gratitude for the softness in your own gaze. That is sacred, and you are sacred. You always have been, but now you believe it a little more, and belief is magnetic. So let this be your new morning mantra. I am rising from softness. I am beginning from wholeness. I am worthy of a day that matches the peace I felt in sleep. Say it softly. Say it inwardly. Say it in the way you move through your day. And when doubt returns, because it always will, you do not panic. You simply rest again. You sleep again. You trust again. Because now you know sleep is not escape. It is ceremony. It is the place where healing dances quietly through your bloodstream, reminding you of all the things you don't have to carry anymore. You wake up differently now. You've outgrown the old armor. You've released the noise. You've reclaimed the space inside you that says, I deserve to feel good. I can begin again. I am healing, even when no one sees. And that is more than enough. That is everything. So, sleep again tonight, not in fear of the day ahead, but in trust that every night brings you closer to the wholeness you were born to remember. You are not losing. You are not failing. You are not giving up. You are letting go. And there is no weakness in that. Only wisdom, only grace, only the soft exhale that says, I don't need to carry this anymore. Tonight, you become like the feather, light, unburdened, floating not away from love, but toward it. Because true love of self, of life, of spirit, doesn't cling. It breathes. It allows. It lets things go when they've stayed too long in the palm and started to ache like stones. Let yourself rest now. Let your body soften, your shoulders drop, your breath deepen. Feel the quiet forming around you, not as absence, but as a gentle invitation, an invitation to release what has weighed heavy on your heart's inner shelf. You don't need to analyze it right now. You don't need to explain it or name it. Just feel the heaviness and watch it begin to lift, as if a soft wind has arrived just for you, just for this moment. And on that wind, your grip loosens. The grasp that held so tightly, to control, to protect, to keep someone close, to prevent a wound, slowly lets go. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough to stop hurting yourself to hold it. This is the grace of letting go with love, not in anger, not in regret, but in deep, deep trust. Trust that what is meant for you cannot be lost, and what is not meant for you will only weigh you down. Feel your body now. It's speaking softly, a memory in your chest, a name in your ribs, a hope that curled itself around your breath and stayed. And now, a breeze begins to gather there, the kind that lifts feathers. You are that feather. And the breeze is love, not romantic love, not conditional love, but sacred love, the kind that holds space for endings and beginnings without confusion. Let the feather fall backward. Watch it in your mind, light, white, almost glowing. You don't drop it, you don't throw it, you simply let go. And gravity does the rest. Your soul knows how. It's always known. Because letting go is not a skill to learn. It is your natural rhythm when you stop clinging out of fear. Fear says, if I let go, I'll lose everything. But love whispers, if you let go, you'll find yourself again. And you are finding yourself now. With every breath, you return to your center, to the soft place that doesn't need to control others to feel safe. You are safe now, not because the world is predictable, but because your spirit is anchored in something deeper. You are letting go of expectations that chained you, roles that never fit, people who could not meet you. You're not pushing them away. You're blessing them. You're freeing them. You're freeing yourself. This is sacred work, and you're doing it with such quiet power. There's a trembling, yes. A part of you still wants to reach back. That's okay. The feather trembles too before it lifts. Let the trembling be part of it. Let it teach you that even release has tenderness in it. This is not the cold detachment of rejection. This is not the anger of walking away. This is love. Love that's deep enough to say, I no longer need to hold what hurts to prove it mattered. You already know it mattered. You already know it shaped you. But now it's time to shape yourself, so you let it go. Not the lesson, not the beauty, not the memory, just the grip, just the ache, just the need to keep replaying what was. It can go now. It wants to. Can you feel it? The peace that enters when you unclench your heart. The way your chest lifts when there's space again. The way your soul says, softly, this is what freedom tastes like. Let yourself taste it. Breathe it in. This freedom, this clarity, this love without possession. There is a new space opening inside you. Where once there was longing, now there is light. Where once there was attachment, now there is expansion. Because letting go doesn't mean closing the door. It means opening windows to let the fresh air of possibility back in. And tonight, as you sleep, that air flows through you. It touches your dreams. It speaks to your nervous system. It whispers, you did not fail. You simply finished a chapter. And, oh, what a beautiful chapter it was. But even the most beautiful books turn their pages eventually. You're ready now. The next page is waiting. And you don't have to rush to read it. You don't need to know what it says. Just trust that it's kinder, softer, more you. And the space you make tonight, by letting go with love, is the very soil from which your next joy will grow. So rest, not in mourning, but in trust. The feather has fallen, and in its place the air around you grows warmer, lighter. Your body glows with a strange relief, the kind you don't always feel until after you've let go. And in this relief, you sleep. You sleep as someone who is whole without needing to hold on. You sleep as someone who finally believes, what is mine will stay. What leaves creates space. And I am safe either way. Your hands have held so much, dreams not ready, people not willing, stories not finished, weights that were never yours. And for so long, your fingers stayed curled, as if to let go would mean losing everything. But tonight, something shifts, something gentle, something sacred. You open them. Not because you're giving up, but because you're giving in. Giving in to the rhythm of allowing, of trusting, of remembering that receiving requires space. You can't hold the sunrise if your hands are still clinging to the night. So now, slowly, peacefully, your palms soften. You imagine them resting gently at your sides, unclenched, warm, open to the air. You feel the tension leave like a breath you didn't know you were holding. The letting go becomes a quiet exhale in your entire being, and the space left behind isn't emptiness, it's readiness. Readiness to be filled with something new, something aligned, something true. Because the hands that release are the hands that receive. You don't need to chase. You don't need to control. You don't need to beg the universe to love you back. You just have to open. That's what tonight is for. A sacred remembering that openness is your natural state. That what is meant for you is already looking for the soft landing of your relaxed heart. Feel that now. A soft golden energy floating just above your skin. It hovers near your hands, like warmth waiting to pour in. But it doesn't force its way. It waits tenderly for your invitation. So you invite it in, not with words, but with stillness, not with effort, but with ease. You rest. And in that rest, you open. And the universe says, yes, now. She's ready. It begins to send exactly what aligns, not what your ego once grasped for, but what your soul already knew was yours. It arrives like a whisper, like a breeze, like the perfect note in a quiet room. It doesn't rush in. It doesn't announce itself. It simply enters because you made space. And that space feels good, doesn't it? Like air after rain, like clean sheets, like the moment between inhale and exhale when everything is possible again. You begin to trust this space. You stop trying to fill it with noise. You let the silence speak, and it says, this is where your blessings land. Not in the fists, not in the fight, but in the opening. You see it now, how tightly you held before, how hard you tried, how much you believed that if you didn't cling, you'd be forgotten. But you were never forgotten. You were simply full, and fullness can be heavy when it's made of the wrong things. So, tonight, you lighten, you open, you breathe, you believe. Believe that good things want to find you, not someday, not when you've healed enough, but now. Now, because you made room. Now, because you released. Now, because your soul whispered, I'm tired of gripping pain as if it were proof of love. And the universe heard that whisper. So, it responds with tenderness, with timing, with gifts that match the new version of you that no longer fears the letting go. You feel one of those gifts now. It's not a thing, it's a feeling, a warm pulse in your chest, a soft smile that appears without needing a reason. It's joy, not because something arrived, but because something left. And what left made room for something better. You have become the one who trusts their openness, not as a weakness, as a strength. You don't need to be hard to be safe. You don't need to be full to be worthy. You don't need to cling to be loved. You are loved in your softness. You are magnetic in your lightness. You are radiant in your release. So, tonight you sleep with open hands, not grabbing, not searching, just ready. Ready for peace, ready for alignment, ready for what flows to those who let go without fear. And as you drift, your palms remain warm, receiving. You don't even need to name what's coming. You just trust that it knows the way, because it does. What's meant for you doesn't need directions. It needs space. And you've made it. You've cleared the shelf. You've opened the window. You've set down the story that no longer feels like home. And now you feel the new story begin to arrive. It doesn't push the old one out. It gently replaces it, word by word, feeling by feeling, dream by dream. You are becoming someone who welcomes the unknown with grace, because you no longer see it as a threat. You see it as a gift. That's what letting go with love does. It shifts your entire relationship with life. You no longer ask, what if I lose this? You ask, what if this is leading me to something even more beautiful? And that question, that wonder, is what opens your arms wider than ever before. So you sleep now, arms relaxed, heart open, soul at peace. The old story is gone, the new one is arriving, and you are exactly where you're meant to be, empty of the ache, full of possibility. You are no longer running, no longer chasing shadows or trying to catch things that were never yours to hold. Tonight, you rest, because something in you finally knows what flows to you was never meant to be chased. It was meant to arrive in the quiet you're learning how to keep. There is a stream beneath your life, invisible but strong, flowing through everything, guided by something wiser than worry. You used to try to swim against it, to steer it, to make it go faster. But now, you float. You lie back into the current, your limbs soft, your breath long, your heart no longer pleading, because you've learned what flows finds you, and what flees frees you. You imagine the stream now, clear, cool, golden with morning light. It moves not with force, but with grace, and you are on it, not lost, not drifting, carried. Feel that. The universe is not asking you to prove yourself. It is asking you to trust the direction, and when you stop chasing, you finally hear the current speak. It tells you where to go, what to release, what to receive. It speaks not in words, but in feelings, in ease, in soft knowing. This is how life speaks to those who stop running. You're listening now. And the guidance comes so gentle, so clear. You are being guided toward what belongs to you, not through pursuit, through peace. What if you believe that? Not just in your mind, but in your nervous system. What if you let go of needing to grasp, to explain, to earn, and simply allowed yourself to receive? You do that now. You breathe that belief into your belly, into your bones, into the parts of you that used to panic, and the panic subsides. Because you've changed the rules, you no longer play the game of earning love, of chasing validation, of fixing what doesn't want to stay. You are still, and from that stillness, life flows toward you, because life is not a chase, it's an invitation. And you are learning how to say yes without running after it. Tonight, you let that truth settle. Like moonlight on a quiet lake, you see how beautiful the reflection becomes when there's no ripple of urgency. That's what your soul looks like now. Clear, open, unmoved by desperation. And into that stillness, blessings come. Not because you earned them, but because you stopped pushing them away with force. You no longer say, "When will it come?" You say, "I am ready when it does." And the universe responds, always, with things that match your stillness, your worth, your new energy of quiet magnetism. Because here's the secret. Chasing is a declaration of lack. Receiving is a declaration of trust. And you've made your choice. You've chosen trust. So you sleep tonight not like someone waiting, but like someone welcoming. Welcoming what's flowing your way. Not because you chased it, but because you made room for it by staying in your peace. And yes, there's a temptation sometimes to reach out and grab, to prove your readiness. But tonight, you resist that urge. Not with force, but with softness. You know that the flower does not chase the bee. It blooms. And you are blooming now. With every breath, you bloom a little more. Your energy no longer says, "See me, choose me, need me." It says, "I am here, and what's aligned will arrive." And that's enough, more than enough. That's magnetic. Because the most attractive energy in the world is peace, not performance, not pressure, not pursuit. Peace. And tonight, you are wrapped in it. Peace like a warm blanket. Peace like soft stars. Peace like arms that hold you without asking you to do anything at all. This is the space where the law of attraction does its deepest work, not in the grasping, but in the glowing. You glow now, and the right things, the true things, are moving toward that glow, without struggle, without rush, with rhythm. Because what flows to you flows because you let it. Not because you chased it down. You let go of timelines, of ultimatums, of begging the universe for scraps. And the moment you did, you became the whole feast. And what is meant for you is already pulling up a chair. So sleep. Sleep like someone who is already chosen, already supported, already becoming magnetic just by being. You don't have to run anymore. You just have to rest. And as you rest, the current carries you to exactly where you belong. No effort, no fear, just flow. Because you don't chase what flows to you. You open, you trust, you receive.